Welcome to this week's EMBN Show. We're taking a look at the brand new bike from Giant, the Trance Advance, with a whopping 1050 watt-hour battery option.
Absolutely massive. There's some new cranks from Hope with some automatic shifting, a load of regular stuff, Where in the World, bike vault, and a really cool story for one of you. Okay, so first up then, Giant have just released their latest bike, so the Trance X Advance. Now this is the one that's got that massive battery on it.
Yeah, it's got a massive 800 watt-hour internal battery.
Huge. Is that the biggest people are doing at the moment?
They've got 900 at the minute, it's the biggest, but yeah 800 at the moment. But the biggest news is this, with this, is that it's got an optional 250 watt-hour extender, meaning obviously that's going to take it to 1050. So you've got an option of, that big 800 watt-hours, but if you want even more, sticking in that extender to get a bit more range. Fox Live Valve suspension on this, absolutely loaded this bike with the latest bling.
Yeah, I can see that by the price tag on the thing as well. Was it 13 grand?
13,500, but I took a look at this bike out of the Rock du Jour. Check this out. If you're looking at super bikes, now this should definitely tick the bill. This is the Giant Trance Advanced E+, and it's the limited edition. This bike is number 155 out of 507 models produced. Really cool carbon frame on this bike, lovely finish paint job. Got the Fox Live Valve system on there, Fox forks up front, got SRAM Access gearing on there. Lovely looking bike, but comes in at a cool 12,800 euros. Now you might be wondering where all this money goes into a bike like this. Well, it goes into components such as these carbon wheels from Zip. These are the Moto Edition wheels. You've got tyre pressure monitoring system on this, which goes into an app on your phone. You've got that live valve suspension on this bike, which monitors the terrain that's coming up and will adjust that suspension as to what you're riding. It is really top level componentry. And the cockpit on this bike is next level too. You've got a one-piece carbon bar and stem. The mode controller is probably one of the most slimline units I've ever seen on this bike. You've got a nice Garmin mount up top on the stem as well. Really nice touches. What do you think of that, Doddy?
I'll tell you what, I mean, it should be nice for that amount of money, but do you know what? They do make a nice bike. The only thing I'm not sold on yet, I just haven't tried it really enough, is Live Valve. Yeah. Definitely interested in it. It's good concept.
Cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hear Hope have got some new e-bike cranks as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. So they've been basically developing cranks for quite a while. They've made them for all sorts of bikes, but these particular ones with e-bikes in mind. Now, these are 155mm cranks, which is what they've settled on, but they actually went as short as 140 in testing, and they had downhill races testing them, and they're trying to find the optimum sort of position basically between sort of what you can get out of the pedals in terms of pedaling efficiency, your ground clearance, but also where you stand on the bike. Yeah. Obviously, the closer your feet are together, the nearer to a moto position you are. But also, it's going to have an effect as well. And they found 155 was like the best all round. This is the cranks you can get on screen. More ground clearance basically.
Less
super
pedal
tough
strikes,
cranks.
I suppose.
In theory, yeah. I mean, it all depends how you ride and where you ride, doesn't it? But
and I imagine loads of colours from Hope, and £255, isn't it, for these cranks?
Yeah, I think they're really nice. So obviously the 155s and 250 odd quid. So they're not cheap cranks. So what would you say to viewers in terms of like how to get the right length crank? Is there like an optimum? Because I know the shorter you go, the better ground clearance you've got. If Jones rides loads of crazy uphill stuff, so I reckon it'll be good for him. Yeah, I'm not so sure that short's gonna be good for me.
For me, yeah, I stick with stock crank, usually like 160, 165 on my e-bikes. But I know Steve has tried those shorter cranks, and he was raving on about them. So he could be a convert. But maybe let us know if you're onto those short cranks. Get involved in the comments box down below. Now, something cool I saw on Instagram this week, Doddy, was this auto shifting. So this comes on the new Specialized Vado and Turbo, kind of like the city bikes. But this is a hub from Involio, which is really cool. Auto shifting. So just pedal and it notices how hard you're pedaling and will adjust the gears to it. What do you think about that? Interesting, because obviously we've seen that tech coming in from Shimano, but seeing other people dabbling. I've actually been looking through the website, and they do a heavy-duty version of it with 148mm spacing and a 6-bolt disc on it. I mean, it is a bolt-on axle, and I can't see all the specs on it. But it's possible if it's like a 15mm bolt-on axle, you might be able to get that on a mountain bike. I think you need to go and see Finn get his lathe out and get a new axle put in.
Be interesting to play with, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you like to have your bike decide when to change gear for you?
I think it'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I do think it'd be good. I mean, you'd want to be in charge of the parameters, I guess, to suit your own preferences, but
I mean, that new EP6 has got auto shifting on it and the free shift, meaning that you don't even have to pedal to change gear, and of course that auto shift as well. So
yeah, I mean, you think how bad automatic gears used to be in cars, and you think how good they are now.
Yeah. Combined with that e-bike motor, could be the dream. Now, we all know how great e-mountain bikes are and how they can really change some people's lives. And we got a great story in from Tanya, haven't we, Doddy?
Yeah, we have. This is a tough story, and it's actually quite amazing. So Tanya and her husband used to ride and even race motocross, enduros, and other stuff for decades, right? So she became really ill with a debilitating headache, and it came from a rare neurological disorder. Excuse my pronunciation, I think it's Chiari malformation. She wasn't able to ride anything more. And what she said is, I'm so sad that I couldn't enjoy even a simple bicycle ride around the neighbourhood. It took major brain surgery to save my life. 3 months post-op, I had a stroke. This was 5 years ago. My husband discovered the e-bike, and now that I have my balance back, I can ride again. This fantastic bike allows me to trail ride with my husband again. I just want to share that I have an amazing husband that brought this bike for me.
Wow.
I think it's incredible if anyone can come back post, sort of any sort of condition or illness or whatever. And if it's on an e-bike, then all the better for it.
I think it's great, isn't it, how these e-bikes...
I always feel a bit weird reading that sort of stories. It feels a bit close to the bone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so good to see how bikes and e-bikes can, change people's lives for so much better. Right, it's one of my favourite parts of the show where we go all around the world to see where you guys and girls have been riding your e-mountain bikes.
Yeah, some awesome shots as well. So this one's from Ray and the Isle of Harris. Technical single track to one of the most fearsome crags in the UK, the overhanging Sron Uladale. I'll tell you what, you've lucked out on good weather up there, I'll tell you that.
Amazing looking shot, isn't it? Yeah. Well, check this one out from Jenny. She's got her 2022 Specialized Kenevo comp out in Gooseberry Mesa in Utah. Been there, Doddy?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, Utah and Moab and all those areas. My favourite place to ride a bike.
Yeah,
absolutely love it there.
I nearly got knocked out on the Porcupine Trail. That was my experience of that. Yeah. Next up, we've got Brant, got a Norco Range VLT out in Frisbee Ridge in Revelstoke, BC.
Naughty. What
been there, Doddy?
No, that's been on my list of absolute must-dos. Very envious. Next one's from Russ on Western States Trail just above Tahoe City. I haven't been there either. I think Jonesy's been there about 22 times, I'd guess.
Looks like a prime e-bike ride in centre, doesn't it? Oh, wow, look at this. The final shot in for this week's Where in the World is from Ray. He's got a Cube Stereo Hybrid 140 out for a night ride at Bees Craig Country Park in the Bathgate Hills. And I've been there.
Have you?
I have, actually. Nice. Yeah, they've got some cool little North Shore stuff going on in this one, actually. But yeah.
Awesome.
Super dramatic
Great
shot.
Spot. Great shot as well, that.
Typical Scottish, isn't it? Dark sky. Love seeing where you've been riding your e-bikes all over the world. Get involved and use that uploader. Now, a great way of supporting us here on EMBN is by getting into the EMBN Shop. Now, the shop, we have so much kit in there. We've got jerseys, we've got shorts, we've got socks. We haven't got pants yet, Doddy, have we?
Do you mean pants as in trousers or pants as in underpants?
Good question.
Depends which country you're in.
Yeah, we haven't got shorts.
Either, as far as
we've got shorts. That's close. Cool.
Yeah.
Get involved, get into that EMBN Shop and get some of that latest kit to look as pro as us out on the trails. This week on the channel, we have some great content for you guys and girls. On Friday, we're taking a look at some of the worst e-bike advice we've ever heard.
Classic, love it. On Sunday, we drop into the world's steepest mountain bike trail. Can't wait for that one, that sounds pretty hairy.
Yeah, and on Monday, Steve's taking a look at something pretty cool from Bosch, so be sure to check that one out.
Steve at Bosch? Really?
Right, it's time for Tech of the Week, and we got a great home build kit coming in from Chris with this Specialized Big Hit. Doddy, what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? So it's got, it's obviously out in BC in Canada, so a nice place anyway.
Yeah.
It's got like Bafang motor on there.
Yeah.
So of course you've got to remember, this is like one of the earlier sort of mullet style bikes. It had the 24-inch on the rear and 26 on the front.
Yeah.
I actually had one, that blood red one.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
I think Steve Gill used to say it was a Specialized Big because it was like, it would kick you out the bum a bit, just a little wheel. But at the same time, it was mega strong.
Wasn't there a reason they did the 24? Was it? I heard it was a manufacturing mistake that they went for that 24-inch back
Couldn't possibly comment on that, Chris. By the way, it's got a Shimano Dior M6100 11-speed on there, 42-tooth chainring, and then the Bafang system.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool, just proving you could make any bike an e-bike.
26
That's
and
as good
24.
a fit as any.
That's a kind of like old school mullet version, but homeboat. Love seeing all that stuff. Right, it's time to read all the latest feedback on the videos that we've done here on EMBN, and me and Steve actually did a video all about, do you need a big battery?
Interesting stuff, yeah. So Rory Lawson said, I find the temperature also has a huge impact. Cold weather mornings drain the battery considerably more than a warm summer's ride.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
And temperature is definitely one of the big factors as well. We've got Cheap Shot 24/7 says, great timing for this discussion. I'm trying to decide between a second battery for my 2021 Kenevo or a newer 750 watt-hour battery. I've run out a few times riding with mates on the latest 750 watt-hours and the 900 watt-hour bikes. Ideally, I'd like to not have to carry it and change a battery, but the 750 watt-hours are in excess of £1,000 and a second-hand 500 watt-hour Kenevo battery is 300. So my advice is, I think, just try and get that big 750 watt-hour one, get it in, and you'll be able to do so much more on your e-mountain bike. You won't have range anxiety, and you can use all those multiple modes when you're out there. You know, you sometimes shy away from using turbo, but just use it and enjoy your e-bike.
Yeah, good advice. Ride because you can says the lighter the bike, the more fun they are to ride most of the time. Motors and batteries on these bikes are added weight and it is substantial. The full power bikes are fun, but don't feel as nimble or as the lighter or analog bikes I've ridden. Interesting you say that, because I think we were discussing the weight on bikes and the sort of the full fat bikes, and actually I've ridden some full fat bikes. I feel like I've been more agile than bikes that have been half fat bikes, if that makes sense. It's geometry, it's suspension setup, there's a whole number of things.
Yeah, so many different factors. The sort of trails you're riding as well, I think, has a big effect on, you know, if you're riding steep terrain on these big full powered bikes, and they absolutely will plough through anything, probably faster than a lightweight bike as well, I think. So yeah, horses for courses, you just need to see what kind of suits you really. Okay, time for my favourite bit of the show. This is Bike Vault. Send us your shots of your pride and joy and we'll put you on a show and we'll rate and review your bikes. Get involved down there. First up this week is from Marius in Romania, and this is one of the Kelly's bikes. So these are well nice. I was looking at these at Melvin's actually, after a 32-kilometre ride in the forest. Looks lovely like a looking bike. Muddy one.
Can't see much of it under all the mud, to be fair, but sign of a good ride, I guess.
What are you thinking?
That's nice.
Nice. Next shot is from Nick here. Got a Scott Ransom e-ride out on the Roseland Peninsula. Training for Tour de Moor with a couple of mates on the stunning cliffs of Cornwall.
More to the point, what is in that water bottle?
Well,
is that hydraulic fluid? Is that...
It's like some Guinness, I think.
It's like Doom Bar.
Doom Bar, maybe. I think it's a nice as well, that one.
Next up is from Chris in Quebec in Canada. 2021 Santa Cruz Heckler. Always a nice bike, very colour coordinated. Even colour coordinated with his Porsche, just happens to be parked behind it.
With the red graphics and the red calipers, got all that going on.
What are you trying to get a super nice for here?
Nice?
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, next shot is in from Dora. Got a Canyon Spectral on and Specialized Kenevo comp out in Innsbruck in Austria. Short trip to the mountains around Innsbruck. That looks like a great day out.
I do love when companies, whether it's clothing company, Epoch do this with helmets, when you have lots of sort of single colours going together, they almost clash. Canyon are really good at doing this at the moment. I love that effect.
One thing, the shot is absolutely amazing, but just that piece of metal, you know, what is it, part of the ski lift or something, or I don't know what that is, but just ruining that shot for me. I was going to say super nice, but just a nice...
You could crop it.
You could.
You crop it halfway.
Yeah, but lose a bike.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
Alexandra in Mafra, Portugal, with a 2022 Cube Stereo Hybrid 140 HPC. I mean, that does it for me. It's a nice looking bike. What are you going to say, Chris?
I think that's a nice as well. Just a little bit busy in that background, isn't it? I'm not doing too well on the super nices, are we?
Picky today. All right, I'm going straight in with a super nice on this. Jonathan in Costa Rica, with a Transition Repeater Custom. That is a bike and a half. That is so nice. Great shot as well against the concrete wall there. Yeah, it's very nice.
Next up, we've got Andy. He's got his 2021 Cube Stereo 160 out of Landegler. Couldn't decide which black route to do, so did a picture instead.
And stopped to drink some Doom Bar by the looks of it as well. What is with everyone putting Doom Bar in their bottles?
E-bike is beverage. Come on.
It's amazing. I love Doom Bar.
Right. Next shot is in from Richard. He's got a Cube Stereo Hybrid 140 out on Bournemouth Pier. First ride out from a local bike shop and went riding with his mate on his new e-mountain bike.
Nice.
I think that is the definite nice shot. And the final bike in this week's Bike Vault. What have we got, Doddy?
That's sick. I love the shot. Love the bike, actually. I didn't know Reader make bikes that look that nice. Awesome.
Yeah, really nice.
So Reader E160 2021 with a Domain 180 fork in it. Big old bike. I love that tree in the background. Come on.
Definitely. Yeah, super nice. And Parco de Fanes Dolomite.
That's lovely.
Yeah,
I really
good,
like that bike. Well, I need to look them up a bit more, I think.
Wow, massive roots going on. But that is it for this week's show, and of course for this week's Bike Vault too. Get involved in the comments box below. Let us know what you thought about that new Giant and also that auto shifting. Would you use auto shifting on your e-bike? Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to us here on EMBN. And once you're there subscribing, get in the shop and check out all the latest new kit too.